Today's video is about a much-loved British television show whose central character is a doctor. Now, this character changed over the years, and there were a movie, and there was a long TV series that was interrupted for many years. And if you think I'm talking about this doctor, well, I'm not. I'm talking about a TV series called Doctor in the House, which was based on a 1952 book by Richard Gordon. It began with a film in 1954, which starred Dirk Bogarde as the central character Simon Sparrow, along with Donald Sinden, Muriel Pavlov, and Kenneth Moore. But it was the TV series that I recall more fondly, which began in 1969 with 2 seasons of a show called Doctor in the House. And it starred Barry Evans as medical student Michael Upton. And the first 2 series were based on the hijinks at a medical school where the dean perceived proficiency in rugby as being more important than the desire to be a doctor. And there was all sorts of hijinks, some of it probably not politically correct in this day and age, involving a lot of drinking and chasing nurses, that sort of thing. The other characters were Duncan Waring, played by Robin Nedwell, who was Upton's friend, Geoffrey Davis as Dick Stewart Clark, who's that perennial student who didn't really want to do anything, let alone be a doctor, George Layton as Paul Collier, Jonathan Lynn as Danny Hooley. He went on to create Yes Minister, interestingly enough, another way in which all these shows are interconnected, and memorably Ernest Clark as Professor Geoffrey Loftus. The first episode was written by John Cleese and Graham Chapman, both, of course, Monty Python's members, and others in Series 1 were written by Graham Garden and Bill Oddie, better known as 2/3 of the Goodies, and Chapman and Barry Cryer also teamed up to write some episodes. Garden and Oddie wrote the entire second season. So after 26 episodes, Doctor in the House ended, but that wasn't the end of it. Then along came Doctor at Large, in which they're all now doctors and working in a hospital. Then Doctor in Charge, where Duncan Waring comes to the fore, becomes the main character rather than Michael Upton, who has disappeared from the series, played by Robin Nedwell, as I said. And we also see more of Richard O'Sullivan, who debuted in the second series of the first incarnation. He was later to star in Man About the House, Robin's Nest, Dick Turpin, became quite a well-known comic actor, and he played a sort of against type, or the type that he established as a snivelling a junior doctor called Lawrence Bingham. Then came Doctor at Sea, where Waring and Stuart Clark, who finally has become a doctor, work on a cruise ship whose captain is the identical brother of their medical school nemesis, Professor Loftus. So Ernest Clark is back in the picture again as well. Then there's Doctor on the Go, with Waring, Stuart Clark and Loftus returning to land. Doctor Down Under, where Waring and Stuart Clark work in Australia, with characters who are kind of similar to the characters in the British series, but played by Australians, for equity reasons, presumably. And then 11 years after that, Doctor on Top, where Waring and Paul Collier, who played by George Layton from the first series, he's returned, and they're both surgeons, and Stuart Clark is a professor with Professor Loftus still in the background too. So Stuart Clark has come from the guy who was the layabouter who never really wanted to do anything to become the professor. So that sort of ties it up in a neat bow across this sort of 22-year arc. Writers included Bernard McKenna, Jonathan Lynn, who, as I said, was an actor in the second series, and became the creator of Yes Minister, Yes Prime Minister, and Douglas Adams, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy man, So there's some great comedy credentials there, stretching from John Cleese through to Douglas Adams. So that's a big chunk there of British comedy history. So there you go. Not the Doctor you were expecting, but do you have fond memories of these series or these actors at all? Let me know in the comments. Like, share and subscribe. It costs you nothing, not a cent, but significantly helps me make my strange assorted videos and get them to the wider attention of billions of other people on YouTube, hopefully. Anyway, thanks for viewing, and I hope you see me again soon.